When we think of the artist that died at the age of 27, the conventional approach to this phenomenon is that it's a tragic coincidence, but it isn't, because there's something that happens to every one of us when we're 27, which is that the progressed moon returns to conjunct our natal moon. And when you're experiencing the progressed lunar return, if you can't imagine yourself in a place where you're happy, fulfilled, giving yourself what you need, if you can't even imagine that, that leads to depression and hopelessness. And that's what I think is the cause of these deaths. Both Kurt Cobain and Janis Joplin had their moon in Cancer. The moon in Cancer is very powerful because Cancer rules the moon. Cancer feels every nuance of emotion. It's a very sensitive heart. Both of them were called at their time the voice of their generation. And Kurt Cobain, when he got to that place of worldwide success, he didn't want to be called the voice of a generation. It's hard for Pisces to always be, in reality in the world. I think that when the lunar return by progression came round, I think he couldn't imagine a way out of escaping this role that was put on him. Plus, he had an out-of-bounds moon. And many times people with an out-of-bounds moon choose to leave. They just choose to leave. Now, Janis Joplin's moon is in the 5th house. And she was very happy to be called the voice of her generation. She loved being on stage. The 5th house has to do with creative self-expression, with joy. And she found her joy when she was on stage. And as she said, what I do is everything that's on the inside, it comes out. And that's the 5th house. If you have planets in the 5th house, you are supposed to leave a stamp of your inner world outside. But when she had experienced her lunar return, when she was 27, we know that she felt very lonely, and she comes from the Aquarius south node of being an outcast. And she hadn't yet healed those traumas, those wounds that she experienced in her early years. And those things are triggered in the first lunar return. And here we see the progressed sun conjunct the Janis Joplin's south node of the moon in Aquarius. And so what was being triggered was her past traumas, the karma of being an outcast. Okay, and here she was experiencing so much success, doing her Leo North Node with coming in, being accepted, being admired, allowing herself to shine. But there was still healing to do regarding the South Node issues. Now, when Kurt Cobain died, the progressed moon was approaching the conjunction to his natal moon. Kurt's progressed sun came to form a conjunction with his natal Saturn. And Saturn, on its more negative side, has to do with this feeling of hopelessness. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that on that day that he died, Jupiter by transit was on his south node, and everything that Jupiter touches, it expands. And so those karmic wounds of Kurt Cobain have to do with nightmarish situations, with seeing the darkness up close in the 2nd house of self-worth, and safety, and stability. So he came into this life, his soul wanted to find peace. Taurus, and by the way, Taurus is very connected to music as well, because that's one way of finding calm and peace is through music. But he needed to deal with these demons from past life. If you don't believe in past lives, from his childhood, you need more time for that. You need time to work on those things. And if you're always in the limelight on the public stage, I don't think you can have the space to do that. So that's it for now. If you have anything to add your comments. And thanks for watching.